Hi there, my name's Vince, I'm a composer, and in this video I'd like to continue my exploration of using string samples to create realistic string sounds, and I'll be discussing the topic of ensemble patches, primarily as a tool for sketching, although sometimes I use them in the final track as well. This is a little bit of a contrast to some of the previous videos. The kind of process where I'm just doing one track at a time and slowly layering it up is actually not that representative of how I'm likely to work on a job or, my day-to-day composing activities. Because I'm a keyboard player and because I've spent quite a lot of time working on my improvisational skill, I find that for me the quickest way to just get ideas down is to play it in with both hands and to use the breath controller to shape the dynamics. Basically, in the first stage of the writing process or the arranging process, I'm giving myself permission to kind of forget about realism a little bit, because in a lot of styles of music, not all styles of music, but in a lot of the styles that I write in, what's of paramount importance is the melody, the harmony, the arrangement, little interesting rhythmic counterpoints. And so what I'm demonstrating in this video is how to spend a chunk of your creative process, usually at the start, just focused on those things with as minimal barriers as possible. So most of your attention is focused on those critical musical choices rather than being bogged down with any technical issues to do with getting the MIDI to trigger correctly. What I like about this is, as a process, it's very fun, it's very immediate. I can play with both hands, I can bash stuff in, I can immediately tell if something's working. If I'm working with video, it's very helpful because I can immediately tell whether the composition is working at a kind of big picture level. It's also quite liberating to be free of the decisions around which specific instruments in the string orchestra are going to play different parts. When I'm composing and writing this way, I tend to just think of strings as one big instrument. And there's a level of awareness that's somewhere in the back of my head that I don't want to have too many parts stacked on top of each other because that might make it sound a bit messy or a bit unrealistic from the perspective of what a real orchestra would play. So I'm thinking about that a little bit. But on the whole, I'm just trusting that if the arrangement sort of sounds good, if it's clear, if it's clean, if there's different, low-end parts, high-end parts, things in the middle, if there's variety and interest and all of those things are working at the level of my ensemble patches, then it's probably going to translate pretty well once I start to kind of refine the arrangement and go into some of these more individual lines down the line. So what I'm going to present now is a edited down version of an hour-long composing session, or you could say a sketching session. And the thing that I want to emphasize here is not necessarily just speed of workflow. Speed is great, but it's more like efficiency or focus. The point is not to write a piece of music as quickly as possible, but rather it's about spending most of your time on the important stuff, I guess. Not breaking that flow of creativity that's concerned mostly with how the thing sounds and what it's doing musically and the magic that you're trying to create. So the theme that I decided to use for my jumping off point for this piece of music is simply Christmas. I thought I'd do a sort of stringy, Christmassy, family adventure type of string piece that I could easily imagine being fleshed out to include other orchestral instruments as well. It's quite representative of the kinds of library music that I've done in the past and also the kinds of TV ad music that I've done in the past, where you just want to, instantly hear that sound and think Christmas. Because this is quite heavily edited in order to show the development of the overall ideas, it might look at certain times like I'm just playing stuff in and it sounds perfect straight away. But obviously there's a lot of editing that's hiding the fact that I'm doing multiple takes of ideas. I'm often just getting stuck and playing something, trying to find the right chord, trying to find the right harmony, making mistakes on the keyboard. So please don't be fooled by the polished nature of a lot of what you're about to see. What I've got here is a contact instance with a Symphobia string sustained string ensemble patch that covers the entire range of the instrument, so all the way up to, and I've got that layered with a staccato patch, and that just allows me to be a bit more articulate and play both short and long notes. And I've got that mapped to my breath controller, which is controlling the dynamics. So I have this idea in my head of a potential melody line that I'm just going to use just so we sort of start with something. Something like that. Maybe something like that. I want to go to a different chord there. Something like that. Yeah, let's go there. Let's just have a listen to the overall thing. Haven't figured out what's happening here yet. Let's incorporate that da-da-da into more of a line. Oh, still A minor. Harmony is very fuzzy. I'm literally just chucking in ideas that I can sort of hear, and I'm going to sort it all out later. But you'll notice I'm just sticking with this one sketch patch, just, yeah, throwing paint at the canvas. Feels like the major seventh of the B flat, which is the A, and the A from the D major chord before it. There needs to be some way of tying those together. Yeah, so that, to me, that A in the B flat major 7 kind of just makes everything feel a bit easier. Da-dee-da. Delete some stuff. This line doesn't go anywhere now. I'm quite tempted to just get rid of this. This feels a bit hackneyed, this kind of dominant chord, before it all comes back in. So let's see what it sounds like if I just get rid of it and kind of just go straight back into the root key in a sort of John Williams-esque fashion. I'll stick down a big old root note. I mean, I'm not crazy about that chord progression at the end. Yeah, that feels better if I could do something like that. I'm just really being very heavy-handed here. I'm really hammering away at that idea, just because it's such a short piece, and you know, it's good to hammer away at ideas sometimes. I've lost bits of the melody from where I've accidentally used my breath controller when I shouldn't. Quite like that. Just kind of all relaxing at the end there. Maybe some sort of arpeggiatic thing in the lower register. Can kind of maybe use this material but sort of spice it up a bit. Boom. I really want to put a minor there, which is why I played a D flat, even though it clashed with everything else. I'm just going to rough it and play a pad. Let's try putting in the double bass and seeing if that helps. I'll displace the melody at the end. Cool, I should save. Xmasing. God, we've got to put some sleigh bells in there. I think there it comes in properly, right? I'm just copying the rhythm of existing parts. Lovely. So there you have it, a rough Christmassy string arrangement using strings. Obviously I've made quite a lot of mess now in the project, so my next stage would be to sort through the MIDI parts, label tracks, try and separate out things that are probably clearly in the bass or the cellos from the things that are more on the top line, maybe separate out any legato melodies from their accompaniment patterns. Basically just have a short session, probably it'd only take like 20 minutes, of having a more of a technical brain on, focusing just on organization rather than creative choices, and just getting things laid out nicely in the project so I can really understand and see the material clearly. Then when I've done that, it would be a case of deciding which parts do I want to upgrade the sound, using other string programming techniques, other samples, and just trying to always think about what's going to give me the best bang for buck in terms of the time that I'm spending and the amount of improved sound that I'm going to get from it. If I was going to introduce brass and woodwinds into the arrangement, I'd probably do that sooner rather than later, because that's also going to have an impact on how much time I spend polishing just the string sound. I'm always trying to just listen to the big picture and not get too bogged down in tiny details just for the sake of it. So I hope you found that interesting. Happy composing, and see you on the next video.